Thank you for joining us for another informative, educational, and entertaining edition of Music and Medicine with Dr. Charles Modlin, kidney transplant surgeon, board-certified urologist, public speaker, and well-known community national leader for the elimination of health disparities, dedicated to informing you, the listening audience, about important health topics and health information that you, your family, and your community need to know, while at the same time providing you with quality entertainment, because music and entertainment is medicine. Dr. Modlin's co-hosts are Jerome Brown and registered nurse Jonathan Branch, and the program often includes special content expert guests. So, without further ado, here is the host of the show, Dr. Charles Modlin.
Hello, everybody out there. Thanks for joining me in another rendition, a very important and entertaining rendition, a special rendition of Music and Medicine. That's M-U-Z-I-C, Music and Medicine. I say this is going to be a fun show. It's going to be very important. I'm going to highlight some very important health information, as we always do on this show. But to me, this is a special show because I want to highlight one of the major passions in my life, which is music, in particular 70s music from the 70s. And to me, that was the greatest genre of music, especially the ballads, the love songs of the 70s. I'm a fan of jazz. I'm an old jazz trumpet player. I'm a fan of rock music, the 70s rock music as well. I remember going to see Aerosmith and Kiss concerts and, hard rock groups. I enjoy Led Zeppelin and Rolling Stones and Beatles. But what really, my love and passion is really the 70s soft pop music of the 70s. And to me, there's never been anything like it. Just going back to my high school and college days, and I think I actually developed a love of music primarily because of my father's love of music. He was always listening to especially R&B music, and I enjoy R&B music as well. But I've always felt that the 70s, they had the 70s love songs actually had several unique qualities, and I did some research that actually highlights this. Says, firstly, the lyrics often focused on themes of romance, love, and relationships, and they were usually heartfelt and emotional. I don't really see that in a lot of the songs from modern day songs. The melodies tended to be melodic and memorable, with catchy hooks that made the songs easily recognizable. Many of the love songs from the 70s had a soft and mellow sound, and we're going to feature and highlight some of my favorite songs from the 70s. They often featured smooth vocals accompanied by acoustic or electric guitars, pianos, and soulful melodies. Some of the popular artists known for their love songs in the 70s include Barry White, Bee Gees, Carpenters, Elton John, and we're going to hear from some of my favorites, as I said. Overall, the 70s love songs music had a distinct sound and style that continues to be beloved by many people today. So as far as the health education and medicine portion of the show today, I wanted to dedicate some time to talking about men's health and disparities with respect to Black men's health, African-American men's health in particular. Many of you who know me know I've dedicated the vast majority of my career to addressing the health disparities, the health inequities most often experienced by men of color. There are disparities seen in all races and ethnicities, in particular Black men, Hispanic men, Latino men. But the preponderance of the disparities is seen in African-American male populations. And I'm going to mainly focus my comments on African American males. So, as you know, many of you may know, I established the Cleveland Clinic Minority Men's Health Fair. Seems like it's eons ago, back in 2003. And the reason for that was in recognizing the fact that health disparities disproportionately afflict men of color. And we're going to talk about some examples of the healthcare disparities, but the healthcare disparities bear out the fact that Black men, African American men in particular, exhibit the lowest life expectancy out of any group in the entire United States. And I dedicated my career to understanding why that is, and developing innovative solutions and ways in which to mitigate these health disparities. And I think the Minority Men's Health Fair represents a best practice and innovation whereby healthcare providers, caregivers can actually better engage men of color, build better trusting relationships, and so that these populations of gentlemen will understand the importance of undergoing preventative health screenings, whether or not they feel fine or not. And again, I've studied a lot of the causes, a lot of the contributing factors. Again, there are genetic, family, inheritance, hereditary factors that contribute to the health disparities. But the vast majority of health disparities relate to what we call the social determinants of health, the social drivers of health. Lack of access to health care, insurance, lack of quality access to quality health care, poverty, transportation issues, living in food deserts, distrust of the healthcare community, and again, various other factors. And a lot of these factors are combined. The social determinants combined with a hereditary predisposition towards developing prostate cancer, for example. So I wanted to announce again for the first time on this platform our upcoming Minority Men's Health Fair. It's going to be at the MetroHealth Medical Center. It's going to be on Saturday. The first time it's going to be on a Saturday. So make note of it. It's going to be on Saturday, April the 27th. That's the last Saturday of April 2024, April 27th, 2024. Mark it on your calendar, save the date, spread the word. The MetroHealth Minority Men's Health Fair. There's going to be a lot more information to come, but it's going to be held in 2 simultaneous locations between the hours of 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. We're going to be at the MetroHealth Cleveland Heights location. That's at 10 Severance Circle in Cleveland Heights. And this year, we're going to do something very unique. We're going to partner with Cuyahoga Community College. That's Tri-C, their metropolitan campus. So we're going to be there simultaneously on Saturday, April the 27th. So we hope to see as many men as possible. Again, as I always mention, the MetroHealth Minority Men's Health Fair, it's called the Minority Men's Health Fair. But of course, we welcome all men and women, regardless of race or ethnicity, 18 years and older. We're providing free health screenings, health examinations, health education. We're going to be partnering with over 100 community organizations as well, who will provide information and access to the healthcare and social services that they offer as well. So I wanted to start off the show. Again, this is going to be a very entertaining show. I've been wanting to do this for quite some time. But we're going to play some of the songs that I love best from the 70s. And we're going to start off with a singer I just recently saw here in Cleveland. I've seen him probably 6 or 7 times, Mr. Barry Manilow. And we're going to play a song that he sang, I believe it was 1978, 79. It's from a film called Foul Play that starred Chevy Chase and Goldie Hawn. One of my favorite movies of all time, Foul Play. But let's go ahead and listen to Barry Manilow. The song is called "Ready to Take a Chance Again."
Would you like to take a shower?
I don't pick up strange men.
Well, that's your problem.
So why don't you try it?
Remind me, I live in a shell, safe from the past and doing okay. It's all very nice, but not very good. And I'm ready to take a chance again. Ready to put my love on the line with you. Been living with nothing to show for it. You get what you get when you go for it. And I'm ready to take a chance again with you. When she left me in all my despair, I just held on, my hopes were all gone. Then I found you there, and I'm ready to take a chance again. Ready to put my love on the line with you. Been living with nothing to show for it. You get what you get when you go for it. And I'm ready to take a chance again. Ready to put my love on the line with you. Been living with nothing to show for it. You get what you get when you go for it. And I'm ready to take a chance again. Ready to take a chance again with you. With
So that is an example of one of my favorite songs from the 70s. I remember in college having my headphones on and listening to that song over and over again. Back then, we didn't have digital music. It was always a record player or 45 or a 33. One thing that really strikes me, I love that orchestral music, the violins. The footage was that was Goldie Hawn driving down the Pacific Coast Highway, looking over the Pacific, overlooking the Pacific Ocean in California. I've actually been on that stretch of road before. It's very beautiful, awe-inspiring, and I really love that. But so again, we're focusing in on African American men's health and healthcare disparities. I'm a practicing urologist, for those of you who are not aware. And I've seen a number of health disparities with respect to men's health in urology. So urologists, we are surgical subspecialist physicians who take care of men and women, but we have expertise in the diagnosis and treatment of diseases and disorders afflicting men. One major health disparity is seen in the incidence of prostate cancer. Actually, prostate cancer develops twice as often and kills twice as many men. So actually, prostate cancer, the incidence is twice as often, and the death rate in Black men is twice as often as it is in white men. And a lot of times men are mistaken that if they don't have any signs, symptoms, pain, or discomfort, there's no reason to get checked for prostate cancer. In fact, most men who are diagnosed with prostate cancer have absolutely no signs or symptoms of prostate cancer. So you don't have to have any signs. You need to get checked out. There are differential screening recommendations as to when a man should start getting screened for prostate cancer. The American Cancer Society, the American Urologic Association both agree Black men, African American men should start getting screened for prostate cancer at the age of 40 years old, whereas white men, unless they have a strong family history, they don't have to start getting screened until about the age of 55 years old. That's a 15-year differential pertaining to the screening recommendations just based on the race of the individual. And again, that differential screening recommendation is based on the fact that Black men have a higher incidence, a higher death rate, And a lot of that is related to the hereditary component of prostate cancer. If you have a first degree relative, a father, a brother, uncle who has been afflicted with prostate cancer, your risk also go up for becoming afflicted with prostate cancer. It doesn't mean that you automatically will, but again, we need to speak to one another within our families and let one another know what our family medical history is, so that we will know what is most important for us to get screened for. So prostate cancer is a major problem in the Black community. There are other health disparities that I'll highlight real quick before we go to our next song. Higher rates of high blood pressure. You know, the national average is about 20-25%. But in African-American males, it could be up to 35-40% of us actually suffer from high blood pressure, hypertension. High blood pressure is called the silent killer because, again, you don't have to have any signs or symptoms. Some of the signs or symptoms may be lethargy, feeling very tired, feeling very sleepy, having a headache, chronic headache. These may just be some of the symptoms of sweating, profuse sweating. But hypertension is called the silent killer because you can have severe hypertension, high blood pressure for many years and not know it. And untreated, uncontrolled high blood pressure can result in stroke. And in some instances, African Americans have up to 80% higher incidence of stroke, twice the death rate from stroke, or twice as likely to restroke. And so again, untreated hypertension can lead to kidney disease, kidney failure. African Americans have 4 to 6 times the greater incidence of kidney failure, kidney disease, mostly from diabetes and hypertension, or combinations of both of those. It can lead to heart attack. It can lead to peripheral vascular disease. And also in men, it can lead to erectile dysfunction, something that men don't want to hear about or talk about. But as a urologist, it's one of the major reasons why men come to me as well. So with that in mind, go get your blood pressure checked. Very important, whether or not you feel fine, whether or not you have any symptoms, make sure you get your blood pressure checked several times yearly. I mean, it's very easy to do nowadays. You can go to CVS, Walmart, Walgreens, Rite Aid, or, you know, one of the local pharmacies. You can purchase a very inexpensive blood pressure monitor. Go to your doctor, go to your primary care doctor's office. So make sure you get that done. But with that in mind, I'd like to go ahead and play another song again, which I've listened to over and over again since the 70s. From the Bee Gees, it's a song called Staying Alive. I'm sure many of you out in the listening audience probably have heard that song. This is a more upbeat song. And, you know, when you hear it, you want to just run. You want to just, you know, get work done and get things done and just make sure you want to go. So let's hear the Bee Gees, Staying Alive.
Your time.
Yeah, that was that's a fun song. Again, I just want you to get up and move when you hear that. But again, I've talked about prostate cancer, higher incidence in black men compared to white men. High blood pressure can lead to heart disease, stroke, kidney disease. But there are other cancers more prevalent also in actually both black and men and women compared to their white male and female counterparts, and that's colorectal cancer. Again, you don't have to have any signs or symptoms to harbor colorectal cancer. It just underscores the importance of getting checked out. There are various ways to get screened for colorectal cancer. The best way, the most definitive way, is by undergoing a colonoscopy. And actually, the recommendation now, especially if you have a family history of colorectal cancer, is to start screening 5 years earlier than your relative who was diagnosed with colorectal cancer. And so it used to be across the board that at age 50 you should start getting colonoscopies, and then the frequency really depends on what the findings are. There are different tests where you can test your stool sample to get screened for colorectal cancer, but the most definitive is a colonoscopy, which is actually, and there's a lot of myths and misconceptions, and a lot of people get scared when they hear about the colonoscopy, but it's a very simple test. I actually have colorectal cancer in my family history, and I've actually had the colonoscopy. Again, it's a very painless, very easy prep. It's not a big deal. And, so very, very important. I've seen many situations where individuals were found to on a colonoscopy or on a CT scan for an evaluation of something else to have disseminated or metastatic colorectal cancer because they just kept on putting off getting a colonoscopy done or getting checked. And see, this points out another, this highlights another point I wanted to make to the audience. We want to empower you, the listening audience, and your family members to understand, what are some of the most important health screenings that you should undergo. And if you find out, or if you find or have observed that perhaps maybe you haven't been, your doctor hasn't actually recommended or ordered some of these screening examinations or testing, we want to empower you with that knowledge so that you can actually request from your physician, your caregiver, that you do get screened for prostate cancer, that you do get a colonoscopy ordered, that you do get your blood pressure checked, you get screened for diabetes. So again, we want you to take part in owning and ownership of your own health care. These are screening recommendations that your doctors and caregivers are aware of, but if you feel that you have not been offered, these screenings, speak up and ask your doctor to screen you for these examinations. The other thing is I wanted to highlight everybody should have a primary care physician. And I honestly believe, I'm not just saying this because I'm a urologist, but I believe that every man should also have a urologist in addition to a primary care doctor. Again, we don't replace your primary care doctor, the care that they provide, but we augment, we can facilitate, we work with them as experts in men's health. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and play another song. Again, I started, I fell in love with the Carpenters, the band, the musicians, Karen and Richard Carpenter, back in the 70s. In seventh grade, when I started playing trumpet in fifth grade and sixth grade, but in seventh grade in band, we started playing a number of Carpenter songs, and I really fell in love again with the melodies. But yeah, I want to play this particular song, this song that I particularly love. It's called "Rainy Days and Mondays." I'm sure many of you probably have heard this.
talking to myself and feeling old. Sometimes I'd like to quit, nothing ever seems to fit. Hanging around, nothing to do but frown. Rainy days and Mondays always get me down. What I've got they used to call the blues. Nothing is really wrong, feeling like I don't belong. Walking around, some kind of lonely cloud. Rainy days and Mondays always get me down. Funny, but it seems I always wind up here with you. Nice to know somebody loves me. Funny, but it seems that it's the only thing to do. Run and find the one who loves me. What I feel is come and gone before. No need to talk it out. We know what it's all about. Hanging around, nothing to do but frown. Rainy days and Mondays always get me seems that it's the only thing to do. Run and find the one who loves me. What I feel is come and gone before. No need to talk it out. We know what it's all about.
Yeah, the melody, the lyrics, just remarkable. Her voice. I don't have a singing background, but I did some research on Karen Carpenter's voice. She actually had what's called a contralto range voice, and contralto vocal range. It's the lowest female voice type. This gave her a unique depth and allowed her to sing in lower registers with ease. But I always rank Karen Carpenter as my favorite female singer, along with Whitney Houston, Natalie Cole, and Diana Ross, Barbra Streisand. I love them as well. We've been talking about a lot of the health disparities, and I mentioned Saturday, April the 27th, MetroHealth. That's going to be our next MetroHealth Minority Men's Health Fair. Again, 2024. We're already planning for that. We want to see as many of you men there as possible. Again, open to every man, regardless of race, ethnicity. Women are also invited. We're going to be doing health examinations and screening literally from head to toe. We're going to be checking your eyes, your ears, your oral health, your neck, your thyroid, listening to your heart and lungs, trying to make sure you don't have any wheezing or heart murmurs, checking your peripheral vascular system. We're drawing blood to check your kidney function. We're checking for diabetes, high cholesterol. We're checking for hepatitis C, hepatitis B, HIV. We're checking for, we're doing sickle cell anemia screens, your blood count. I always say, if you tried to go to your physician, your caregiver, your healthcare provider, and get all of these examinations, it would actually take you several months to go back and forth, several different appointments to see all the different specialists. I always say you're going to be able to see every urologist that exists, every ologist, I should say, every ologist. Pulmonologist, endocrinologist, nephrologist, cardiologist, urologist, dermatologist. Again, that would take you several years to see all these specialists. We're offering it free of charge at one setting, April the 27th. So again, we started this back in 2003. We're carrying it on now over at MetroHealth. And again, it's an opportunity. You don't have to have any signs or symptoms. And over the years of doing the health fair, we've actually detected a number of serious disease states in many of these gentlemen, a number of cancers, high blood pressure, diabetes, and other conditions. So, mentioning diabetes is more prevalent in the Black community. We're also seeing it in our younger youth, our adolescents, unfortunately. Diabetes in some instances can occur up to 80%, can be more likely up to 80% greater incidence in Black communities. And again, untreated, unrecognized, uncontrolled diabetes can lead to heart failure, kidney failure, kidney disease, and other serious health conditions. So you got to get checked for diabetes, especially if you have a family history. There can be a genetic component to that. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and listen to another song. Again, we're featuring 70s love songs. These are songs that really move me. They inspire me. They motivate me. So let's play a song from one of my favorites, Chris Rea. It's called "Fool If You Think It Over." "Fool If You Think It's Over." This is from way back in 1978, Chris Rea, "Fool If You Think It's Over."
Dying flame, you're free again. Who could love do that to you? All dressed in black, you won't be coming back. Oh, save your tears. Got years and years. The pains of 17s, unreal, their only dream. Save your crying for the day. Fool if you think it's over, 'cause you said goodbye. Fool if you think it's over, tell you why. Newborn eyes always cry with pain, but look at the morning sun. Fool if you think it's over, just begun. This teenage dream, such a tragic scene. You knocked your crown and ran away. First wound of pride, and how you cried and cried. Save your tears. Got years and years. Fool if you think it's over.
Yeah, great song. Great song. I love the showmanship. Again, you don't hear music like that anymore. So one thing I try not to do is burden the audience with a lot of statistics, but I prefer to just point out the disparities in generalities. But I was messaged to give some statistical information. I was talking about high blood pressure. African American men have higher rates of hypertension, as I've said many times. About 45.8% of African American men over 20 years of age have hypertension, compared to only 33.4% of white men. The incidence rate of stroke is 55% higher in African American men than in white men. African American men have a higher mortality rate from coronary heart disease compared to white men. Heart disease is the number one killer of all Americans, but even more so in black men. Sudden cardiac arrest, we've spoken about that before with Nicole Ward from the Make It Know Your Name Foundation. But African American men have a higher incidence of sudden cardiac arrest compared to white men, are more likely to experience cardiac arrest at a younger age and have lower survival rates following sudden cardiac arrest. We get into lung cancer, and I was reading some recent research studies. I'm actually on the board of the Cleveland American Heart Association, and I'm one of their advocates for restricting or actually prohibiting the sale of mentholated tobacco products, prohibiting the sale of mentholated tobacco products here in Cuyahoga County. And again, there's research that shows that African American populations up to 95% preferentially smoke mentholated tobacco products. And I mention that because mentholated tobacco products are more carcinogenic, more likely to contribute to causing cancer, not only of the lungs, but the kidneys, the bladder, and elsewhere, are associated with tobacco smoking. And there is a remarkable disparity in the incidence of African Americans using mentholated tobacco products compared to their white counterparts. In Cleveland, we see only about 28 to 30% or so white individuals use mentholated tobacco products, and that points to what we call predatory marketing. And again, there's research and statistics and data to back this up. Predatory marketing of mentholated tobacco products preferentially to the black community. Back in 1950, only 5% of African Americans used mentholated tobacco products. Now, like I said, up to 95%. So lung cancer, African American men have a higher incidence of lung cancer compared to white men. According to the American Cancer Society, African American men have a 22% higher incidence rate and a 36% higher death rate from lung cancer. And again, we see a higher incidence and complications from asthma, not only in our adult population, but in our children as well. Don't forget the effects of secondhand smoke and the devastating effects that over a number of years secondhand smoke can have on our children, our youth. So again, we're just, like I said, health disparities are more prevalent, especially in Black individuals, quite literally from head to toe. And I'm just giving you some examples. Let's hear another song, one of my favorites, Christopher Cross. The song is entitled Arthur's Theme, and it's from the movie Arthur, starring Liza Minnelli. And this is from, I believe it's from 1979, and Dudley Moore, Liza Minnelli and Dudley Moore, Arthur's Theme. Great movie.
Once in your life, you find her, someone who turns your heart around, and next thing you know, you're closing down the town. Wake up and it's still with you, even though you left her way across town, wondering to yourself, hey, what have I found? When you get caught between the moon and New York City,
Yeah, that's a great song written by Burt Bacharach. He actually just passed away this year. The genesis of that song is that actually he was flying in an airplane trying to land, I believe, either LaGuardia or JFK Airport, and he was put in a holding pattern, his airplane, and so he was caught between the moon and New York City for several hours, circling the city before he could land. I used to live in New York City before I came to Cleveland, and a lot of the footage is when Dudley Moore is driving. He's driving on the FDR Drive right by Bellevue Hospital. I did my internship and residency at NYU, which includes Bellevue Hospital. So you could actually see Bellevue Hospital there in the video. So it kind of hits home to me. But again, it's a very catchy song, inspirational song, makes you want to get up and move. So great song. So again, I wanted to highlight another health disparity experienced by Black men, and that's HIV/AIDS. Black men are disproportionately affected by HIV and AIDS, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC. African American men accounted for 42% of all new HIV diagnoses among men in the United States in 2019. We'll have to see what the most current data is. And this is in spite of the fact that African American men only represent about 13% of the male population, yet account for 42% of all new HIV diagnoses. That's a huge health disparity. Again, you don't have to have any signs or symptoms to have HIV. Again, we're going to be performing HIV screenings at the health fair. And again, we're drawing blood for these screenings. It's up to individuals when they come to the health fair, they can select what type of screenings they want. So we're not forcing all of these screenings on anybody, but this is an opportunity to come get checked out. It's for your benefit, your family's benefit, and the community's benefit. Mental health, oftentimes all men, a lot of men were guilty of trying to be macho, stoic. A lot of us, we grow up historically, young boys have been taught that if they fall down, hurt themselves, skin their knee, you better not cry, man up, just deal with it, be macho. And again, that actually has translated into the behaviors that many men still exhibit today. Even if they feel pain, discomfort, if they don't feel well, a lot of times they'll try to tough it out instead of going to the doctor to get a health check. And women, I remember back in sixth grade, back at Riley Elementary School when I grew up in Newcastle, Indiana. I remember one day they sent the boys out to play on recess, but the girls they kept inside for an educational health session. I just point that out to point out the fact that a lot of times women and girls have been educated at earlier ages to pay attention to their bodies, their health. And we're very grateful also to the women out there, because this was a learning curve for me. When I first started the Minority Men's Health Fair, we thought that if you build it, they will come. But in fact, it was due to the efforts that a lot of women out in the community were the ones, getting the guys to come in. So we always want to recognize the contributions that women make to overall helping keep men healthy. So thank you for that. So mental health, again, is very important. A lot of times Black men may experience a disproportionate higher incidence of stress, anxiety, depression. Actually, suicide is on the rise. Many contributing factors, racism, obviously, discrimination, social determinants of health are contributing to this. And so MetroHealth in 2022 opened the first mental health hospital in the last 50 years in Northeast Ohio. So that's based out in Cleveland Heights. And so men, there's nothing taboo about it. There's nothing weak about it. Get your mental health concerns addressed. Untreated mental health issues can actually manifest as physical manifestations of disease, hypertension, heart disease, etc. So very important to pay attention not only to your physical health, but your mental health. So I want to play a song by a local artist, Mr. Eric Carmen. I love this guy. He has several songs, All by Myself. Celine Dion did a rendition of that also, which is great. But I want to play, actually, Eric Carmen is from Beechwood or Willoughby, or I think he lives out in Chagrin Falls, I'm told. I would love to get him on the show. If anybody knows him, get in touch with me. But I want to play the song from Eric Carmen entitled Never Gonna Fall in Love Again from 1976.
Pretending things can still be right. There's really nothing more to say. I'll get along without your kiss. Good night. Just close the door and walk away. Never gonna fall in love again. I don't wanna start with someone new, 'cause I couldn't bear to see it end, just like me and you. No, I never wanna feel the pain of remembering how it used to be. Never gonna fall in love again, just like you and me. At first we thought that love was here to stay. The summer made it seem so right. But like the sun we watched it fade away. From morning into lonely night. Never gonna fall in love again. I don't wanna start with someone new, 'cause I couldn't bear to see it end, just like me and you. No, I never wanna feel the pain of remembering how it used to be. Never gonna fall in love again, just like you and me. Never gonna fall in love again. I don't wanna start with someone new, 'cause I couldn't bear to see it end, just like me and you. No, I never wanna feel the pain of remembering how it used to be. Never gonna fall in love again, just like you and me. Never gonna fall in love again. I don't wanna start with someone new, 'cause I couldn't bear to see it end, just like me and you. No, I never wanna feel the pain of remembering how it used to be. Never gonna fall in love again, just like you and me.
Yeah, that was a remarkable song and performance by Mr. Eric Carmen, again from Cleveland. Those of you who grew up in the 70s, who were around listening to music at that time, I don't know if you remember, on every Friday night at midnight, they had a show called the Midnight Special. So again, back then we didn't have DVRs or digital recorders. You actually had to stay up and actually see the show live, and that's where a lot of artists actually got their initial exposure on the Midnight Special. I wanted to touch base real quick on kidney disease. I've dedicated a lot of my clinical work to as a kidney transplant surgeon at Cleveland Clinic for over 25 years. And I mentioned that African Americans have a higher incidence of kidney disease and need for kidney transplantation. Again, up to 4 to 6 times greater incidence of kidney disease as a result of diabetes and or high blood pressure. And research has shown that African Americans are less likely to be referred for kidney transplant evaluation. Once referred, are less likely to complete the evaluation, less likely to be cleared and approved and accepted to be placed on the active kidney transplant waiting list, less likely to receive a kidney transplant, wait twice as long on the waiting list to receive a kidney transplant, and then have a higher rejection post kidney transplant. There are a number of things that we can do about it. We have to educate, Black and brown communities about the option of receiving a living donor kidney transplant. And again, many of us don't know that is a viable option. Actually, that's the best way to receive a transplant is from a living donor as opposed to a deceased donor. But again, we need to let people know that kidney transplantation is the preferred method to treat chronic kidney failure as opposed to going on hemodialysis or peritoneal dialysis. And again, we're going to dedicate a whole future show on that, but I wanted to kind of highlight that as well. We're going to play probably just a few more songs. I wanted to play a nice love song from the Stylistics that I first heard probably in the late 70s, but it's called You Make Me Feel Brand New from the Stylistics. I'm sure you've heard it, and there have been many different renditions from other artists as well, but it's a great art, a great song by the Stylistics. Yeah, I love that song. You Make Me Feel Brand New by the Stylistics. I wanted to kind of recap. We're going to be closing out soon, but I wanted to recap some of which I touched on already. I think a lot of it, what is contributing, what is the source, what is causing a lot of these health disparities in our men of color, our Black men. And I mentioned there are hereditary diseases. Prostate cancer can be hereditary in many situations. Diabetes, hypertension, heart disease. You can actually have hereditary components of all of these. But I mentioned one of the major factors, and there are many under this category, socioeconomic factors, the social determinants of health. African-American males often experience lower educational attainment, limited job opportunities, higher poverty rates, and residential segregation. These socioeconomic factors contribute to barriers in accessing health care, which in turn impacts health outcomes. I talked about limited access to quality health care, which includes lack of health insurance, shortages of health providers in underserved areas. And there are racial biases in the healthcare system, which highlights the fact that all healthcare providers across the nation need to be educated around cultural competency and implicit biases. So studies actually have shown that African Americans have less access to regular primary care, preventative services, and specialized care. We talked about the behavioral health factors, higher rates of smoking, poor nutrition, sedentary lifestyle, substance abuse. All of these contribute to the higher prevalence of chronic disease among African American males. Again, these behaviors are influenced by various social, cultural, and environmental factors. The social, psychosocial factors, we talked about discrimination that many Black men face. Chronic stress has been associated with adverse outcomes, as I mentioned, hypertension, cardiovascular disease, and mental disorders. So there are things that we have to first, again, recognize what is causing and contributing to these health disparities, and then come up with solutions to address these disparities. And again, I mentioned improving access to care, addressing the social determinants, building better trusting relationships. So many of our Black men are more willing to go to doctors and hospitals for routine preventative health screenings. We need to work with our government and elected officials to create policies that are going to advocate for addressing the social determinants of health. This includes affordable housing, quality education, employment opportunities. Implementing these policies will reduce racial disparities and support economic empowerment. Again, it's a circular issue that will positively impact health outcomes. These health disparities actually are borne out by the fact that, as I mentioned, African Americans have the lowest life expectancy out of any group in the entire country. These are the statistics. The current life expectancy for Black men in the United States is approximately 71.8 years, whereas white men, the current life expectancy for white men in the United States is 76.3 years. Again, a 5-year differential. In some instances, even a higher differential. There's data, Cuyahoga County life expectancy data, that shows if you live in one of the poor inner city neighborhoods in Cleveland, which is in Cuyahoga County, your life expectancy can be on order of a 25-year lower life expectancy than if you live just 5 miles away in a more affluent suburb of Shaker Heights or Pepper Pike. So I wanted to highlight a lot of the disparities in Black men. We're going to play just 2 more songs for you. Again, 70s songs that I love. And then we're going to close it out with a plea from me to you. But I want to go ahead and play a great song by Diana Ross herself. Diana Ross, Touch Me in the Morning.
Touch me in the morning, then just walk away. Hope the time wouldn't try to find us. Didn't we take each other to a place where no one's ever been? Yeah, I really need you near me tonight, 'cause you'll never take me there again. Let me watch you go with the sun in my eyes. We've seen her look and grow, now we'll see how it dies. If I've got to be strong, don't you know I need to have tonight? When you're gone, till you go, I need to hold you until the time your hands reach out and touch me. In the morning, and we could feel one another living. Just walk away with a dream to hold, and we could take what the world we don't have to mind. There's no tomorrow here, there's only love and the time to but we had yesterday. Yesterday's gone, my love. There's only now, and it's time to face it.
Wow. I mean, that just brings back a lot of memories. You know, I get very emotional listening to this music. And oftentimes, if you see me, whether I'm walking through the halls of the hospital, out in the community with my AirPods on, this is what I'm listening to, 70s music. And so I wanted to thank you, the listening audience, for going back in time with me, spending some time going back to the 70s. Again, they don't make music like that anymore. I don't know that they ever will. I tell my kids all the time that they missed out, you know, so they're busy listening to hip hop. And you know, I like that also, but there's nothing like the 70s music. And I've always said, sometimes I think I may, when I listen to music, because I'm a musician myself, old trumpet player, I don't purport myself to be, you know, any good anymore. I still try to play a little bit here and there, but I listen to a lot of the melodies. I rewind songs and I listen to it over and over again, and it seems like I always hear something new, whether it's the brass instruments or the string instruments. I really love it. But again, thank you for going back in time with me. I wanted to make a plea to all of you out there, especially you men of color. All men, but especially you men of color. Again, we're Thursday, April the 27th, is our MetroHealth Minority Men's Health Fair 2024. It's not Thursday. I apologize. I always say Thursday because it's always been on a Thursday. It's actually Saturday, April the 27th. I'll have to get used to saying Saturday. But our Minority Men's Health Fair, and again, it's open to all, free health screenings, health education, health examinations. My plea is to come and take advantage of this unique opportunity that MetroHealth is offering you. You never know, you know, and we don't hope to find serious ailments or disease states or conditions. But from history, again, we've been doing this for over 20 years now. We know that there are going to be a number of men who come to the health fair, and we're going to find diseases, serious health conditions that they did not know that they had walking into the health fair. This health fair actually saves lives. I mean, we diagnose prostate cancer, kidney cancer, bladder cancer, heart disease, a number of other serious health conditions, high blood pressure, diabetes, HIV, hepatitis C. So please, I implore you to not only yourselves, but tell 10 other guys to come. And take advantage of this opportunity. We want to make sure, again, we're expending a lot of resources, a lot of time and effort. We're going to have about 650 MetroHealth volunteers, and we're going to partner with outside community organizations as well. So take advantage of this. You never know how this could save your life. So very important. I want to dedicate this last song. And first of all, I want to thank our producer, Russell Johnson, for bearing with me. He's a little bit younger than me, so I don't know how much he loves, you know, these 70 songs, but you know, he stayed with me through this and put up with me having to try to relive some of these songs. I hope you and the audience enjoyed them as well. Send us your feedback. You can also go to my website. That's drmodlinmd.com. That's drmodlin.com. you can connect with me there. I'm available to do community outreach, speaking events. Before I leave, I also want to highlight again, I published this book. It isn't difficult to do it if you know how to do it. It's a success tips, success navigation book for all ages, but specifically designed for the younger generation to help get them on their path and keep them on their path to success. The book is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. You can just type in my name, Charles Modlin, MD. The title, It Isn't Difficult to Do It If You Know How to Do It. I want to dedicate this last song. It's by Gladys Knight and the Pips. It's called The Best Thing That Ever Happened to Me. And I dedicate this song to my parents, Charles Sr. and Grace Modlin. Again, I'm getting a little emotional, apologize. But were it not for them, I would not be the person I am, the man I am. And they're the ones who taught me that it's my responsibility to use my education to give back to the community. So I hope I've lived up to their expectations. And that's why I continue to do what I do. And that's why I'm so passionate about addressing and eradicating health disparities. And so with that in mind, thank you for joining us. And we're going to go ahead and close out with Gladys Knight and the Pips. You're the best thing that ever happened to me. So thank you.
Of life's ups and downs, but fate's been kind, and the downs have been few. I guess you could say that I've been lucky. I guess you could say to